everybody! I am NicoD, so everybody knows there's a mishap in the world. So I ain't getting no new boards to review, so I will have to do something different. So I'm gonna do a series about my favorite games all time. So we will start with 5 games today. I have got a big list. I first had a list of 10 games. Then I asked Salvador from the PyLab. He made it 20 games. Then I asked Yuri. And then it became 40 games. So I've got enough games to show you all. So I'm gonna tell you something about the history of the games. I'm gonna tell you why they are so important to me. So these games are the games that I find very important and that changed my life. So I don't say these are the best games ever. I say these are my favorite games. So here we go! So we will start with Graviton. So Graviton is one of the first games I ever played on a PC. So it is a game from 1992. You are a spaceship, it's just a triangle. So there are different planets and on every planet there are enemies. You have to defeat all the enemies, you have to shoot them all. Also there is fuel that you have to pick up. If you get out of fuel, you will just fall down. It is a very hard game, so the keys that you use are rather strange. It are keys that no other game uses, so you have to get used to it. But I got used to it a long time ago, so this is the first time I played it in years, and still I made it through the first level, and then I died. But well, it is still a great game. I love the physics of it. It is cool how it flies around with the gravity and so. So this is just an awesome game. I challenge you all to finish this game. So to get the highest points, it is best to start with a world that has high points. So like the 3000 world or the 4000 world. But those are the hardest to finish. But once you have finished them, all the other worlds will have the same points as the hardest worlds that you started with. So even the easiest worlds will be 4000 points if you start with the hardest worlds. But when you have finished all these worlds, then there are some more. And boy, they are hard. I cannot show it right now because I didn't get that far. You can easily download Graviton. If you search for Graviton DOS game downloads, you will find it immediately. And to play it, you can use DOSBox, of course. I do think there used to be sound, and I don't have any sound with it. My memory has got a lot of holes, so I'm not sure anymore. I must say I cannot find that much information about Graviton. I don't know who the programmer is. If you have this information, please let me know, so I can share it with the world. It is a well-programmed game. It takes less than 200 kilobytes, so even in 1992 that was a very small game, while it is very well made. It might not look that awesome, but the gameplay is just perfect. So that's it for Graviton. So the second game is Desert Strike Return to the Gulf. So this first came out on the Sega Master System in 1992. Also on the SNES, the Sega Mega Drive and even on the PlayStation Portable. It also was ported to DOS, of course. So I played it most in DOS. The Sega Master System was my favorite console all time, but I don't remember ever playing this game on the Sega Master System. So this game was created by Electronic Arts and the programmers are Mike Posehn and John Manley. It is a rather big game. It takes up more than 3.5 megabytes, so for that time it was big. It didn't fit on one diskette, that's for sure. It looks great for that time. So you fly around with an Apache helicopter. You have some missions to do. So you have to pick up some people. You have to destroy enemies. You have to destroy enemy bases. And also destroy an airfield. I didn't get to destroying the airfields. I always was out of ammo and I didn't find any ammo. It has been a very long time since I've played this game. I even didn't remember the name. It was Salvador from the PyLab who helped me remember the name of this game. So thank you, Salvador. I loved playing it again, but again, like old games are, it was a lot harder than I remembered. But I will play this again until I found out how to defeat the airfield. If I think of it now, maybe I have to return to my ship to reload my ammo and then destroy the airfield. I will see next time when I play it. The third game doesn't need an introduction, I guess. Unreal Tournament. So this is a game that I have a lot of memories about. So it came out in 1999. I still remember the day when it came out. So I worked as a programmer at Flanders Language Valley and they had a computer shop where they sold it. And one of my best friends bought the game immediately when it came out. And we all played it over the network. It was just awesome. We then started an Unreal Tournament clan, the WizKids. I wasn't the best at it, I even didn't play that much with them. But sometimes I could defeat the best players when I had a really good day. But most of the times I really sucked. So this is the follow-up of Unreal, of course. But Unreal Tournament is for me a lot better. So this is for me the best first-person shooter there ever was made. There's nothing that comes before it. Doom is awesome. Duke 3D is great. But this is just the final thing. There is nothing that can be done better in this game. That's also why I love Nexius so much in Linux. I loved revisiting it. This game has got a good single player mode where you just have to do a tournament. But of course the most important thing about this game is the online gameplay. It still has got a lot of online players 20 years later. There are so many levels for it, there are so many skins for it, there are so many things for this game. It is just unreal. This game was made by Epic Games. It also came out on a lot of other platforms, on Dreamcast, in Linux, Mac OS, PlayStation 2 and of course in Windows. I always played the Windows version and back then in Flanders Language Valley we had a lot of computers and a very big network and we played against a lot of people at the same time. We even once played it with a huge cinema screen, which was awesome. The fourth game is not really a game, it is a simulator. So Flight Simulator 2004, a century of flight. So I had a lot of trouble choosing between Flight Simulator 95, 98 or 2004. I did choose 2004 because it was a century of flight and it has all the historic airplanes and missions. That makes this one the best version for me. So it came out in 2003 while it is called Flight Simulator 2004 or Flight Simulator 9. It is of course a game from Microsoft. It is made by the Xbox Game Studios. Of course you fly, that's the thing of Flight Simulator. There are a lot of airplanes, there is one helicopter, only one. That's a pity. You can download a lot of airplanes, helicopters, anything you want. I even have got the NASA shuttle. You can make it as realistic as you like, or you can put all realism settings out and just flying around without having to worry about anything. I used to have books about Flight Simulator. I didn't know everything about how to set up the navigation and so I don't remember anything anymore. I still can't fly, that's one thing. I am flying with my PlayStation controller and it works very well. I started it again and I played it for hours and hours. If you want to be able to play it in Windows 10, you have to turn on the compatibility settings for Windows 98, Windows ME, or else it will not work. It is awesome that I now can turn on all the details I was never able to do that back in the time, and it does look quite good, I must say. Here I am in cockseat, flying with a helicopter that is right next to my house. It's only about 2-3 kilometers from my house, but I cannot see my house. I must say even the roads aren't correct and Belgium doesn't look right, but a lot of big cities and monuments are in this game. If you fly in New York, for example, you will recognize everything there. The Flight Simulator series is really historic. It has existed for a long time and then they stopped making them and now they finally made a new one. But I don't want to play it since my PC cannot handle it. So I rather play an older version than to play the new one. Here for example is a mission where I fly the right airplane. So the first flight ever with an airplane. So there are tons of missions to fly. You have to like flying airplanes or else this is nothing for you. I always loved flying games, so for me Flight Simulator was something that filled so many hours. Then the last game for today, but not at all the least. So One Must Fall 2097. This is a follow-up game of One Must Fall, but a lot better. So here you play with human assisted robots. So you are a human that is inside of robots and you have to fight. You can upgrade your robots. When you win, you earn money. If you have damage, you have to pay for the damage of your robot. So the less damage you have on your robot, the more money you will earn. Then you can spend the money on everything. You can even exchange your robot for another robot. I like this robot the most because I am used playing with it. It is a very addictive game. When you start playing it, you can play it for hours on end. Even now it still hasn't aged. The game was made in 1994 and was made by Epic Games. Of course it was a DOS game. You can play it very well on DOSBox. Even on every SBC it plays very well. You can set up the speeds. If you have a too fast computer, you can slow it down so the speed is correct. So they did make this game future proof. This is Mortal Kombat on steroids and a lot more. For me it is the best fighting game in this genre ever made. So here you see how you can upgrade your robot. This is what makes this game so addictive. So these days all games have got this, but then it was rather new. It wasn't the first game who used upgrades. There were a lot more games who used upgrades, but this game made it really addictive. Of course everybody wants to have the best robot, but you have to do a lot of game playing to have that robot. The fighting in it is also very cool. You have to have a very good reaction speed or else you have to slow down the game. So it is just a game you must have played in your life. One of those games that will never get old and will always be a great game. You must admit it looks great for a game from 1994. So that is it for today. I hope you all like this new content. I will make a lot more of these videos coming days. So thank you all for watching. Please like my video, subscribe to my channel. See you later. Bye.